Why does your state-of-the-art AI agent completely bankrupt your cloud budget just to draft a batch of simple product landing pages? Felipe, a developer, ran into exactly this wall while testing a $10,000 concept object. He thought he needed the biggest model on the market, but the truth proved otherwise. Moonshot AI had just released Kimi K3, an absolute behemoth with 2.78 trillion parameters. It immediately shot to number 1 on the intelligence index, crushing shared benchmarks. Felipe tried to load Kimi K3 locally on his maximum spec Mac Studio. It crashed instantly. Even the absolute smallest 4-bit build of Kimi requires a staggering 610 GB of memory just to idle. This isn't a model for a desktop. It demands an entire 8 GPU node running tensor parallelism just to wake up. So, Felipe had no choice but to rely on their API. Then, exactly 4 days later, DeepSeek dropped V4 Flash 0731, a seemingly tiny 284 billion parameter alternative. Kimi K3 is nearly 10 times larger. Conventional logic screams that it must be exponentially better. This is the 2.8 trillion parameter lie. Both models use a mixture of experts architecture. Kimi fires a massive 104 billion parameters per token, while V4 Flash only activates 13 billion. Both leave about 96% of their networks completely asleep. Felipe pushed his automated agent workflow through the Kimi API. It generated 130 million tokens. The invoice hit a painful $1,950. This expense makes scaling impossible. He pointed the exact same code at the DeepSeek V4 Flash API instead. The model was slightly more verbose, returning 210 million tokens. Yet the final bill was just $58.80. That is a staggering difference for the exact same project scope. You end up paying 33 times more cash for the exact same finished work when using Kimi K3. The performance gap absolutely does not justify the cost. Artificial analysis scored Kimi at 57, and V4 Flash at 50. You are paying a 33x premium for just 14% more measured intelligence. V4 Flash also solves the local hosting nightmare. Just under 5 hours after release, Unsloth dropped a heavily quantized version. Packed down to 4-bit precision, V4 Flash takes up just 82.5 GB. Felipe seamlessly loaded it onto his Mac Studio, dropping his API costs all the way down to zero. It generates text relentlessly fast thanks to a clever trick. V4 Flash ships with DSpark, a dedicated 20 billion parameter speculative decoding module. DSpark acts as a scout, guessing 4 tokens ahead in milliseconds. The massive main model then sweeps behind it, verifying those guesses in a single swift pass. Salvatore Sanfilippo, the creator of Redis, built a highly optimized C engine called DS4 explicitly to run this model on consumer silicon. Running locally, Felipe clocked V4 Flash at 112 tokens per second. That raw speed is more than 3 times faster than what Kimi K3 manages over its expensive API connection. During repeated agent tasks, caching makes Flash even cheaper. A cache hit drops Kimi's input price 10-fold, but V4 Flash plunges 50-fold. Look closely at the benchmark victories. When you anchor terminal bench 2.1 scores against the common baseline like Claude Opus, Kimi K3 is actually only 4 to 6 points ahead of V4 Flash. Independent testing confirms the tight race. BenchLm's 90% confidence intervals for both models actively overlap, meaning the performance difference might just be statistical noise. This answers how a drastically smaller model outcompeted a Titan on a laptop. Hardware optimization and speculative decoding ruthlessly beat raw, unoptimized scale. That 2.8 trillion parameter count isn't an advantage, it's a heavy, expensive anchor. Here is the necessary reality check where V4 Flash stumbles. On Felipe's final landing pages, Kimi K3 unequivocally won on polish. It utilized confident negative space and superior typography hierarchy, while Flash felt strictly functional. Furthermore, Kimi K3 ships with Moonvit, a 401 million parameter vision encoder. V4 Flash is totally text-only, making it useless for visual agent workflows. Kimi handles an immense 1 million token context window flawlessly. DeepSeek explicitly recommends capping Flash's output limits at 384,000 tokens. Handling that massive context requires custom engineering. Moonshot built Kimi Delta Attention into 69 of Kimi's 93 layers to manage complex reasoning over massive documents. Think of Kimi K3 as a custom Formula 1 car, devastatingly powerful for specific, deep research tracks, but entirely unsuited for driving on public roads or running basic daily errands. For self-hosted developers, V4 Flash is the high-performance sports car you can actually keep in your garage, chewing through complex agentic workloads for mere pennies. Stop overpaying for bloated parameter counts. Subscribe to follow the real metrics inside the open weights revolution.